It's been a few days, Hawks fans, but the trades continue to intensify. So come on in and tap. Hawks Digest, we the plug, no cap. Trade talks heavy like an open hand slap. And you already know we don't chase clicks, we're just planting seeds. Digesting the game, giving it what it needs. Hawks fly high, just to let y'all know. And you already know, welcome back to Hawks Digest. Let's tap into the flow. I am Chris Tip Moore, and in this video, man, we are talking about more trade scenarios. You already know we're going to talk about, does this help the Atlanta Hawks? Does this hurt the Atlanta Hawks? A reporter has put out a new trade scenario, three-team trade, of course, and we're going to dive into it. But before I do that, guys, go ahead and it's Sunday. You need to be enjoying yourself. Take off your shoes, leave on your socks. We're going to get right into this Hawks Digest report, but you already know. Thank you to everybody who is supporting Hawks Digest. Like, seriously, we are right here at 1,600 subs. You know, saying this page is growing because of you guys. Yes, we're doing our part on our end, but without you guys showing up, there is no Hawks Digest. So, first and foremost, salute to you all. And for those who are not a part of Hawks Digest yet, make us one of your first listens. Come on and be a part of the Hawks Digest family, and we will continue to push out different content for you guys when you guys need it. You better believe that. So, guys, of course, like I said, man, it's a new trade scenario I want to get into. And this one, it's not bad. It's like, okay, you know, it's an excuse the Georgia shirt if you're not a Georgia fan. By the way, I'm a Georgia boy, so you're going to see stuff like that. But this is Hawks Digest, make no mistake about it. And we're going to get into this trade scenario right freaking now. So, three-team trade. The Hawks, Kings, and Boston Celtics all do business together, making some things shake. We're going to start from the bottom with the Boston Celtics as they would receive Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, Dominic Barlow, and a 2027 second round pick via Atlanta from Cleveland. You already know. For those who don't know where we get that 2027 second round pick, remember we acquired that after we traded for George Niang and also Karis LeVert, of course, sending DeAndre Hunter to those Cleveland Cavaliers. So that is what Boston will be getting. Of course, they will be getting some cap relief too because Boston is in a tight situation. Of course, they lost JT. Prayers to him still as well for a speedy recovery. You never want to see that happen to any player. But they lost JT. They have to make some moves in the offseason as far as like to get under that second apron. That's one thing that always, you know what I'm saying? That's a thing. That second apron, the new CBA rules, they do not play. So this is something that they have to do. Porzingis and also Drew Holiday are on the chopping block. So that's why you guys have been seeing Porzingis, you know what I'm saying, linked to the Hawks and everything, even though I'm like, no, I'm good on that. It's too much of a risk. But anyway, Sacramento Kings received Drew Holiday, somebody I wouldn't mind as a backup point guard. Jordan Walsh, who's 21 years of age, by the way, and also Boston's first round pick. Okay, you know, so that's cool. But the Atlanta Hawks, our very own Atlanta Hawks, receive two big men. Well, you can say front court help. One is a center, one is a forward. And that is Jonas Valanciunas and Sam Hauser. Now, let's give a little context to that. The thing about it is, of course, Boston receiving Barlow, Monk, and Ellis. Second round pick. In this deal right here, yes, Malik Monk, he's a talented guard. You know what I'm saying? He's been that six man for the Kings, and then they send him to Boston. Boston gets some help with some shooting. Keon Ellis, he's like 3 and D. He's shown glimpses of that. And also, you know, he's improving. You know, since he's improving, I think like he's a very good defender. Of course, just on the Kings team. So Boston, they will get some pieces. You know, so they also get a second round pick. They also get a stretch guy in Dom Barlow, who possibly can play small ball center and possibly can play the forward position as well. Now for the Kings, of course, they getting, you know, saying Drew Holiday, somebody that's you know, a little long in the tooth, but at the same time still an effective point guard. 21-year-old. Like I said, he's a forward. Jordan Walsh is, and he was the 28th overall pick in this past year's draft. Just to let you know, there's a possibility teams may be willing to move away from first round picks if it means that they possibly can get better, etc. So that's why you can't necessarily just hold on to certain guys if it makes sense. If it makes sense. All right, now and also for our Atlanta Hawks, we practically improve our front court, and we don't have to give up a lot. Sam Hauser, like he's not a world beater. He is not, the guy that you necessarily want to see on defense, guarding, premier players. No, but he is shooting. He does have better shooting. Now, it would be interesting because you have him and George Niang on the same team, and I'm just thinking about what that means defensively. Yeah. But Jonas Valanciunas, though, you have a big man to go down there in the box, help out Onyeka Okongwu, somebody who is strong as an ox, similar to Steven Adams. I believe Steven Adams may be a little bit stronger, who knows. But Jonas Valanciunas, you trade for him, and the only thing that you lose respectfully is Don Barlow and a 2027 second round pick, but you get better because you have a veteran who's going to go in there and is going to put his lunch pail hat on in Jonas Valanciunas. And you also have a guy who can shoot the three in Sam Hauser, somebody who can stretch the floor. And you possibly, like I said, improve your front court. And the only thing you lose is a young Don Barlow, who we just don't know exactly what he's going to be with the Atlanta Hawks. But I feel like that is low risk with a possible high reward for the Atlanta Hawks. And honestly, this is one of the more sensible trades that I look at and I see, and I'm like, okay, second rounder in 2027, we'll just go ahead and just attach that to Hauser. And when you look at Don Barlow, you just like, okay, you can go ahead and attach him to Jonas Valanciunas. And honestly, Hawks fans, I understand this is not a splash. I understand this is not necessarily the needle mover that we're looking for. I understand that, but you can't lie. You get better with Valanciunas and Hauser over just keeping Don Barlow in that second rounder. Now, can you explore other options? Of course you can. But I'm just talking about this particular scenario, and if this did play out for the Atlanta Hawks, who would win? The Atlanta Hawks, I feel like, come out smelling like roses or smelling like daisies because, again, a 2027 second round pick and Don Barlow for better front court help, I feel like you can make that trade. But guys, you already know how I feel. I always want to know how you guys feel about that. So definitely drop that in the comments and let me know how you feel about that. Before I get up out of here, I want to move on and pivot to another situation that happened. It was a report coming out, and it's surrounding Onyeka Okongwu. The report came out that apparently, now this is just as all rumors, of course, but apparently, like, it's actually set in stone because it was on the Straight Fire podcast that Jason McIntyre, he asked about it from Ron Gutterman and of Lakers Daily. ESPN's Dave McAmin, he also said that the Lakers made a call. I know it's a lot of names in there, right? But he also made a call to the Atlanta Hawks about the Onyeka Okongwu services. Now, of course, we already know that never happened because they went on and pivot to Charlotte's Mark Williams, and that deal didn't go through. But Onyeka Okongwu is the type of player that Doncic could thrive with. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he played at USC, so he's familiar with the area. Onyeka Okongwu, he's only going to turn 25 in December. They were thinking, hey, maybe we can call the Hawks, see if the Hawks are willing to part ways with Onyeka Okongwu. I'm pretty sure they were going to try to lowball the Hawks. That's just what some teams try to do. So I'm pretty sure they was going to try to do something like that. Who knows? Maybe they would have offered Dalton Connect and similar package like they did with the Charlotte Hornets. Who knows? We'll never know what the package was. But I feel like they tried to entertain it because they felt like the Hawks was possibly in a rebuild mode. I honestly feel like they felt like the Hawks was in a situation to where they weren't going anywhere. So that lets you know how the rest of the league feels about the Atlanta Hawks in that particular time around the trade deadline. So, with that being said, could it be a possibility that Onyeka Okongwu could still be on the radar of the Lakers or other teams this offseason? You never know. You really never know. At the end of the day, I believe this is how I'm gonna say what I feel. I feel like the Hawks believe in Onyeka Okongwu. I believe they want to at least give him 1 year as a full-time starter for the entire season to see how he handles it. I feel like if Onyeka struggles mightily, then there will be changes. There will have to be changes. I mean, how could you not? But if Onyeka, thrives, then they can say, "Hey, we were right. Let's go into other situations and other scenarios and what we can do to improve this team." But we have our center now. It's all on Onyeka at the end of the day. But I still believe that the Hawks believe in him, just like I believe the Hawks believe in Kobe Buffkin. It's not about whether I believe in these two guys or not. It's about the organization and it's about the logo. So Onyeka Okongwu, I believe he's going to get his just due, and also I believe that the reports about this, is just due diligence. Honestly, it may not be anything to it. We may not see anything happen in the off season, to be honest. But as always, guys, let me know how you guys are feeling. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this situation, the three-team trade, and of course, how do you feel about Onyeka Okongwu? Could he still be on the move? Hey, you never know. This is the NBA. This is business, and if the right deal comes about, you already know people get shipping out. So until next time, guys, peace and blessings to you all. We'll be right back at you. Want to say happy Memorial Day to all our veterans, all our fallen veterans, and everybody that just surrounded around the military, and everybody just have a safe weekend. Enjoy yourself. Remember the police out. They're trying to make their quota, so don't do nothing crazy. And until next time, peace and blessings to you all. And to you all, I will holler.